Good evening, fellow Urhobos, fellow Deltas, Urhobo. You are once again welcome to another episode of our Wado City TV, where we deliberate very many issues that will lead bedeviling the Urhobo nation, issues about Urhobo culture, tradition, history, and topics that will lead to the overall development of the Urhobo nation. Though Urhobo people are mostly found in Delta states, there are some Urhobos in Bayelsa states, there are Urhobos in Edo states, though in Edo state they are not aboriginals, but they are there as customary tenants of the Edo people. The same thing in Ondo state in huge population, Lagos state. But when you talk of proper Urhobos, are aboriginals and natives of Delta and Bayelsa states. But because the bulk of Urhobos are in Delta states, today I want us to discuss the origin and meaning of the word Delta state. In subsequent episodes, I will also discuss the origin and meaning of the word Urhobo. But today, I am discussing the meaning and origin of the word Delta state. As you can see, Delta state is one of the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But I just want to let you know that the name Delta state was formed as a result of the influence of the Urhobo people. Their one-time agitation against the Olu of Warri. This is for you people to understand how a change of name solved a perennial problem. Now, the word Delta ordinarily has a lot of meaning. The word Delta, for example, is a Greek word. It is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet. For example, you have Alpha, you have Beta, you have Gamma. They are all Greek alphabet. Delta is one of them. It's the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet. Then you also have Delta in mathematics. Change in, when you say delta T, change in T, delta X, those are physics and mathematics. But in terms of Delta state, we are dealing with the geographical meaning of Delta state, of the word Delta. Now, the word Delta geographically means that the wetland that remains as a river or a water body flows into another water body. You know, in this area, in the Niger Delta area, a lot of rivers flow from here down to the sea. The River Niger and the River Benue all empty into the Atlantic Ocean. And so, this our area is the closest to the Atlantic Ocean. As the water body flows, the wetland that remains, in geography, is called delta. In other words, even in simple language, as rain is falling, if you are living close to a stream, because I live close to a stream here, as the rain is falling and water is emptying into the river there, the wetland that remains is called delta. But that has not always been the name of our state. Now, in fact, the British, the people that colonized us, did not use the word state. What they used then was districts and provinces. And we Urhobo people, together with the Ijos, the Ishekiris, the Isokos, the Ukwane, and half tribe of Ika, were put into a province called Warri province, with Warri as the capital. While Benin people were in Benin province. So later on, When they were creating regions, both Warri and Benin province were under Western region with the headquarters in Ibadan. That was the era of Awolowo then. It was an Urhobo man then, Mukoromo, that represented Warri province in the Western Region House of Assembly. You don't have Delta State House of Assembly today. Now, remember the Warri province is made up of the Urhobos, the Ijos, the Shekiri, the Isoko, the Ukwane, and the half tribe of Ika. It was an Urhobo man that won the election, Mukoromo, that was elected to represent Urhobo people at the Western Region House of Assembly. In other words, it was the voice of the Shekiris, the Urhobos, the Ijo, the Isoko, the Ukwane, and half Ika at Ibadan in the Western Region House of Assembly. No wonder Mukorobo was a very powerful UPU president, the most powerful ever, and the richest ever, because he was a politician, a top politician, more like the governor representative, because that time it was a parliamentary system of government. Good. So, now, when we were under Western Region government, there were agitations of the non-Yoruba tribes in the Western region, like the Edo, the Ishans, those of us on this area, that we needed a state of our own, that we are not being treated fairly. Because the Urhobo, particularly, for example, we are pro-Zik. In federal election, they usually vote for Zik. Except the Shekiris, most times, they usually vote for Awolowo. Now, something happened in 1936. In 1936, the Ishekiri people wanted to crown a king for themselves again. Their last king died in 1848. And so, they fought a civil war because there was no successor. And then after that, a lot of governors rose up. The Shanomi, then Ebrimoni, then Nana, and the rest were all governors. Then the last one was Dore Numa, who caused a lot of problem between the Urhobos, the Ijos, and the Shekiris. And because of the problem it caused for the Shekiri people, the Shekiri said no, they want to go back to their monarchy. They don't want any governor again. And so they needed to elect an Olu. Now, there were rumors flying around that the Olu then will be crowned by the Shekiris as the Olu of Warri. Now, let us understand one thing. The Ishekiris, the last Olu of the Ishekiris that died in 1848 was Olu of Ishekiri. He was Akembua, Olu Akembua. But the British, the Europeans, called him King of Warri. Get it very clear. You people are always making a mistake that he was never known, that it was Awolowo that changed the title. I believe in objectivity, in objective history. The people themselves called him Olu of Shekiri. The locals call him Olu of Shekiri or Olu of Iwere. But the British and the Europeans called him King of Warri. I have a letter right here. I got it from the archive, where John Tudor, a British explorer, on behalf of the English people trading on this part, wrote a letter to the British on behalf of the King of Warri. But by Warri then, they did not mean this our Warri. They meant Ode Ishekiri. That was the name the British called Ode Ishekiri as at that time. So, however, in 1891, when the British established colony here to come and sign treaty, you know, the British colonial government started in 1861 with Lagos. In 1861, Lagos became a British colony. But it is in 1891 that most people in this Delta area became part of British colony. they decided to build a new colonial office here. Now, they built the colonial office in the around Warri area of today. But that was not an empty land. It was inhabited by the Ogbijo and Agbasa people. But the place was called Ogbijo, but it was jointly inhabited by Ogbijo and Agbasa people. That is what the British intelligence report of Warri Township of 1929 states. And so, they were evicted. The Ogbijo people were evicted to build that place. Now, if the British had maintained the name of the original name of the place, then today the word Warri would not have existed for us. The name Ogbijo would have been the name of all this area. Or better still, because it was both Ogbijo and Agbasa land. If they had chosen Agbasa as the name, then of course this area would have been called Agbasa. But they did one thing. They chose another name for the place. They call it New Warri. They did not call it Warri. They call it New Warri or Warri Township. So if they call the place New Warri, it means that an old Warri was existing somewhere, isn't it? Good. That old Warri was a Odeshekiri. But the Shekiri now called the place Big Warri. And so, the New Warri became the capital of an entire province. And so when rumors started flying that the Olu had decided to choose the British or the English rendering of his title, Olu of Warri, instead of Olu of Shekiri, many Urhobos became agitated. Isokos became agitated. How can he choose that title when Warri is not the name of an entire province? So, by that fact, before 1952, we Urhobos, Ijos, Ukwane, Isoko, and Kwale, we were all citizens of Warri province. Everybody was a Warri man as at that time. So, as at that time, most people in this area do not have a king. The only Urhobos clan that had kings then were Agbara, Agbaroto, Ugeli, and Ugo. The rest people don't have king. They had clan heads. And one of the most influential clan heads of that time was the Okpe kingdom. You know, the Okpe, because of their large population, they have very many large villages. And on record as at that time, in the British record, that in the entire of the whole Warri province, the Okpe clan was the best organized. They were highly organized, peaceful, and they were paying their taxes effectively because they were under the jurisdiction of late Chief Ayomano, who was the clan head. He happened to be a local man, but who understand the British method very well, doing the things according to the British way. And so, being a voice that was respected by the British government, Ayomano most times now use Urhobo as a center for Urhobo activism and agitation. And so, Ayomano invited all Urhobo elders and wrote a letter. I have the letter here to the British. Please, there's a rumor flying around that this Olu that you want to crown him as Olu of Warri. Please verify for us because we are citizens of the Warri province. We don't want that thing to look as if it's also our king. The same thing that Mukoromowo, who was the UPU president at that time too, also raised concern. And the Urhobo saw the argument. The Urhobo told the Shekiri that, look, fine, your king used to be called King of Warri by the Europeans. But to us, the British, Warri means another thing. Warri means an entire province. So, you cannot use the name Warri to crown your king. But the Shekiris refused. They wrote letter many times that no, you can't deprive us. After all, Warri is a corruption of the word Iwere. The British said, oh, that means you have a better option. Crown him with the original Olu of Iwere. The Ishekiri also refused. And so they gave them an option. You can't use Warri. You either use the Olu of Iwere or Olu of Ishekiri. And the Ishekiri Traditional Council unanimously agreed that they will crown their king as Olu of Ishekiri. And they crowned him Olu of Ishekiri in 1936. The person of Emiko Akembuwa, the great-grandson of the last Olu Akembuwa that died. But he had a son. He died in 1949. His son who succeeded him, Basimi Emiko, was educated and he also had a lion heart. He joined politics actively, even though traditional rulers were forbidden from joining politics. And so he floated a political party called the Warri Political Network and allied with the Action Group, which Awolowo was spearheading, and they won the regional election. And in order to compensate him, Awolowo changed the title from Olu of Shekiri to Olu of Warri. As expected, the Urhobo man did not take it kindly. There were riots everywhere. Most of Shekiri living as customary tenants in Urhobo land, particularly in Agbo Kingdom and in Agbaro, were expelled from the lands forever. Those lands, the Umubwa village in Agbaro, a good village, they were there, they were expelled because of the crisis. And so, the Urhobo people placed embargo that nobody should buy or sell to the Ishekiri people. The riot became so worrisome that Awolowo had to invite the leaders, political leaders and traditional leaders of Urhobo to Ibadan. Say, how can we solve this problem? What will pacify you? Oba Kenzwa Bini there were also involved. Awolowo said, but rightly thinking, his title of Olu of Warri is not derived from this Warri, it's derived from Ode Shekiri. We cannot deny him that title because his name is the name of an entire province. Since we must continue with that name for him, and your people are rejecting the name, the title, then it means that you people are not Warri people. They are Warri people. You are not Warri people. So we are changing the name to Delta Province. And so in 1952, Warri Province was changed to Delta Province. Now that was the first time the Urhobo people rejected the name Warri. Most of you don't understand this. If not today, Delta State would have become Warri State, like I told you. And of course, everything, Abraka University would have been Warri State University, Abraka, Warri Teaching Hospital, Ugara, Warri Broadcasting Service, Ejeba, Warri Polytechnic, Uzoro, and then you now have Olu of Warri. That was what our ancestors now said, no. That kind of thing will be too domineering by the Ishekiris. Good. Now, when they changed the name, they couldn't change the name of the city as at that time to Delta City because the Urhobos had no king in Warri City. And Warri City then was under the territorial jurisdiction of the Olu of Warri. The Urhobos then paid all their taxes through the Ishekiri Native Court as at that time. Even though the Agbara people then stood their ground that they had never and they will never be under the Olu of Warri. Government did not recognize it then until 1998, when government haven't seen most of their old historical record, particularly their Treaty of 1893, now gave them a king. So as at that time, the Agbara people can't change the name of their city when the king of the city, the Olu then, as at that time, would have said, you want to change the name of the city without him conquering, it would have been very difficult. So, when the name changed, Government College Ughelli used to be Warri Province College. It became Government College Ughelli. So that is how it is. You can even see it today. ShopRite in Asaba is Asaba City Mall. That is what is ShopRite there. But why did they call ShopRite here? Delta City Mall. Why? They actually built it, supposing they built it in Ubuagwe. Supposing Ubuaga built it in Ubuagwe, it would have been Warri City Mall. But they used Urhobo to build it. They know they do it Warri City Mall. Umi and Urhobo Kushale. How can you build something in our land and say you call it, you change it to a full city mall? So they now put it Delta City Mall. You know, we Urhobo people are quiet. ShopRite should be changed to a full city mall. It's going to be like that. The same thing they said, Osubi Airport, Warri Airport, and we kept quiet. No. The government have already responded a long time ago that Warri is synonymous with Ishekiri. Get it clear. If you think it's a lie, check the list of the gazetted state, the Delta State Law of Traditional Rulers. Only the Olu, even the Ijaw people, Warri was not attached to them. Only the Olu of Warri was identified with the name Warri. The other people were identified with their clannish name. So, now later on, when they created Midwest states, out from the Western region, they call it Midwest. But they were not supposed to call it Midwest because it was not actually in the middle of the West, it was in the South. So Mauritania Mohammed changed the two provinces forming the Midwest, the Benin province and the Delta province, to Bendel. Benin, B-E-N for Benin, Delta, D-E-L, that's Bendel state. That's how we became Bendelite. If it had not been Delta province, it would have been Benwa state, Benin Warri state. That is how it would have been. So today, it was the agitation of your ancestors, Urhobo people, that brought the word Delta state to us. So those of you saying that Urhobos are Warri people, no. Urhobo, even the reaction of the government alone, if Urhobos are Warri people, there are two Urhobo kings in the heart of Warri city. None of them have Warri to their title. No, we are not even saying there is nothing like Agbara Warri or Okere Urhobo Warri in any of the gazette. It's Ovie of Agbara and Oroswe of Okere. But even if it is Agbara Warri, then you have another one, Olu of Warri, who is the main person, Olu of Warri. The Agbara Warri is an attachment. Except we have Ovie of Warri, then those of us in the Wado struggle say, yes, Urhobos are Warri people. After all, we are an Ovie in Warri. We cannot clamor to say we are rejecting the name. But today, government reaction and everything, we are supporting the government, the position of the government. The Urhobo man traditionally is not a Warri man. He is only in Warri South local government. Just like an Agbaro man is in Ugeli not local government, but that does not make him an Ugeli man. Just like an Erenyi man is in Ugeli not local government, but that does not make him an Ugeli person. But the Ugeli person is in Ugeli not local government, and he is also an Ugeli man, the Oharisi family. That is how it is with the Ishekiris. So, my people, you have known the origin of the word Warri, Delta State today because of the agitation of Urhobo land. The word Warri have mostly been used to subsume our land. I don't know why you defend a name that was used in stealing our land. As far back as 1952, the Ogara people rejected the name Warri. If not, Warri, Ogareki was Warrieki, and Ogarefe was Warriefe. Shegu Goma be still there today. Most of the ancient records of Ogara, you have Warrieki and Warri, but the Ogara people rejected the name. Today we have Ogarefe and Ogareki. So, so you now see what our ancestors fought in 1952, rejecting the name Warri province, has started again in the form of urbanization. It is not coming like an urbanization. Anywhere you build, you join it. Osubi will not join. If I grew up meeting Osubi as not part of, but today Okokoko, Osubi, Ugolo, they are not part of the place. People now call them Warri. So I will say that in the next 20 years, if Ugeli not join, Ugeli will not be called Ugeli Warri. Saple not join, Saple will not be called Warri. Today they are not called Adeji Warri. We should stop that nonsense. We are Urhobos. We own almost about 90% of the territory they are calling Warri. First of all, if Warri is even an Urhobo, what is the meaning of Warri in Urhobo language? It's not there. So please, support the Wado City Advocacy movement. Let us give an indigenous Urhobo name for ourselves. That is why we use the most common Urhobo word, the word that the Urhobos are always identified with, Wado. We have different dialects in Urhobo language. We have the Ukbe dialect, we have the Uye dialect, the Ujeri dialect, the Agbo dialect, the Agbaro dialect, but all of them answer to one word, Wado, when they are seated. They all answer to that word. That is why we are saying that the areas, the Urhobo territories of all these areas should be called Wado City. We don't want to spill blood anymore. We don't want to fight anybody anymore. We don't want to fight Ishekiri anymore. Ishekiri, you can have your Warri. You understand? But each Urhobo community gazetted under our kings should be added to Wado City. In Wado, if you object to what I have said, or you have superior information that I have said, you join in our conversation on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Thank you very much. Wado.
Zabu zabu. Zabu zabu. Obo wo jebe wo jaja zabu zabu. Obo wo jebe na wo zabu.